Greetings, friends. This is Elizabeth Schermer with an intuitive reading for the Sagittarius new moon, which occurs Sunday, December 17th at 10:30 p.m. Pacific time. The first thing that our guides want to bring forward today is a reminder that this signature infuses our rhythms of time and our opportunities for learning for a month, and especially for the first 2 weeks leading up to new moon, full moon. So know that what you are receiving now will unfold in your own life and in your own circumstances. And that's part of the magic that's available to us now, is new understandings of how we can more fully participate in a personal way in the unfolding around us. So before I share the spread, which I pulled earlier this morning, I'd like to say a little bit about the card that you see in the middle of the altar, which is the card for Sagittarius. In this deck, it's called Art. In other tarot decks you might use, it's called Temperance. The word temperance refers not to abstinence, but to the quality of tempering steel, of tempering through trial by fire, and the alchemy of fire that occurs when we step into our own consciousness. Alchemy is, the tradition of alchemy can be explained through physical processes. However, true alchemy is the transformation of consciousness, symbolized by the golden Orphic egg in the background. Each of us is engaged in the art of creating our life and creating ourself through activity in the world and through our own processes of growth and expansion. Every year, Sagittarius gives us a new opportunity to connect to our own creative fire and to new levels of understanding of the truth of who we are and the truth of our relationship to ourselves, to our world, to other people, to our circumstances, and the experience of magic of the unfolding of our lives. The Sabian symbol for this year's new moon in Sagittarius is of a sculptor, a 25 at 27 Sag. It's of a sculptor creating her or his work. So it's the engagement in the art of our life, literally, that fuels our consciousness. And the work is not lowercase w, but uppercase W. Our great work is the engagement in becoming the truth of who we are. And it's our engagement in the world that allows us to learn more about our own truth and to participate in the unfolding around us. So the infusion of potential at this new moon is the truth of art, the truth of the art of your life. So before I even dive into the message, specifics given to us in the cards, I invite you to hold curiosity for what you have to learn in the coming month about the truth of who you are through the magic of what unfolds in your life and through your commitment to exploring more about who you are through your engagement in the world, which is your great work. Okay? So, having said that about the art card and the symbol of the Sagittarius new moon, let's start with, I think I'll start with the card in the position of circumstances, the Princess of Swords. And the Princess of Swords in the position of circumstances represents a bringing forward of what you've learned this year, especially since the activations of the eclipses in August and the total solar eclipse in August. And so the picture here symbolizes what we've learned of coming out of the shadows into a commitment to new truth and new clarity. The downward facing sword, if you know the cards, is representing that inner sword of alignment with personal truth in the adjustment card, which is part of our full moon spread a couple of weeks ago. And let me just drop in. There's a commitment to clarity, to inner truth, and a quality of even rebellion right now of the past and of what's outdated. And so one of the ways we can interpret this painting is that the old altar here is being demolished. The princess is rising out of the past and leaving behind forms that no longer serve her with commitment to being in her heart, green, to new imagination, new understandings, new insights, yellow, and there's some blue here too, which is her commitment to alignment with truth and to speaking the truth. So there's a complete and total commitment now to showing up with what you've learned and bringing it forward and being willing to release the past. We've been strengthening our muscles in that all year, and now the new moon chart is specifically showing this quality with a very strong stellium of 5 planets in Sagittarius. There's a very strong and coherent signature now for us to see and perceive reality in new ways and to step into new levels of understanding of our truth. And part of that is the willingness now to really let go of what doesn't serve us. And it may even be effortless. You may have clarity that surprises you and even carries a signature of calm around things that used to trigger you. And that's part of the signature of growth right now that we have access to. So this is clarity even in the forces of chaos and change. And in the position of circumstances, it's saying, know that you have a capacity now to observe and to commit to truth and to rebel against old forces of status quo or old forces of momentum that don't serve you. Then the other 2 cards show huge signature of order, which I'm excited to share with you now. So this is the signature for circumstances. The signature for mind is the 8 of discs, which is called prudence. And what the prudence refers to is a quality of appreciation for the flowering of order and an ability to participate in a very harmonious way in the unfolding of what's already happening. So this is, I call this the feng shui card. You've all, those of you who track this know that I've said that before because it refers to 8 of discs, our ability to see and perceive the natural order and the natural flowering and then participate in that in concrete and practical ways. Interestingly, this card also is an energy signature for harvest, which is the point we are in the wheel of the year, of becoming aware of what's been harvested and how we can participate in the harvest. So as you step into your life in the coming month and prepare for winter solstice next week, reflect on the harvest of your own life, what's come to flower, and you will have new insights into blessings, maybe in circumstances that were even challenging, and you'll be able to see and bring forward with appreciation the perfection of the order of all that's unfolded in your life. And this, there's something else, sun, the frequency of the sun in this card, and you can even see the sun at the top. This card is sun in Sagittarius. And so there's an illumination, a quality of illumination that you have access to now through this magic of the alchemy of the season of art, in being able to see in new ways and understand in new ways the perfection of the order of your circumstances in your life. So this is the position for awareness. And when you feel, if you feel chaos or things being out of order or out of alignment, take a breath and come back into alignment and ask for help and support to see the order and to find your place of resting within that order. And then there's even more help in the position of spirit, because here we have the 6 of discs, which I think of as one of the huge blessing cards in the deck. It's called success, and it represents an awareness of success in the coherence of consciousness and the perfection of consciousness and the order of consciousness that creates all, that predates and precedes all physical order. So success refers to a physical experience of an infusion of trust and awareness that everything is unfolding with perfection. It can happen in your imagination where you feel and see the truth of something that hasn't yet fully come to form. And this card can also happen when you experience a manifested success of something that actually physically happens. But in the position of spirit, it's referring especially to your ability now to trust in your visions, because Sagittarius is all about visions and stepping into the future and trusting our visions. The sculptor at work, who is you, is creating the world, is creating your life. And this indicates spiritual support for you in the coming days to connect with your own powers of imagination and trust. Know that you are being held. Now, there's a super interesting fourth card. That's a powerful synchronicity, and I'm going to say a little bit about it because we have some cultural baggage around this card. I'm going to show you the Queen of Discs, and I'm going to be totally transparent and say this isn't the card I pulled, but this card is the personal aspect of the card for Capricorn, which is signified here by the goat. And the fourth card I pulled in the spread is the tarot card for Capricorn, which we call the Devil. The reason I'm not showing it right now is because some people who are unfamiliar with the cards associate the Devil with misunderstandings about the teachings of what this archetype is for us. And on the most basic level, I'm going to show you a card that holds this energy. And I went to an Ascended Master deck I have and just went through to find this card. And Cernunnos is a Celtic deity of the masculine aspect of earth energy and the masculine aspect of life force, which is indicated here, of pure force and power. That's Capricorn. And so what I'm going to show you now is the card that we received for the fourth card in the spread, which is the card for Capricorn. It's called the Devil, and it does not mean evil. It does not mean shadow. It means an attachment and a connection and an infusion of incredible life force and power. And the teachings behind this card relate to the teachings of the goat, who is also called Pan in many cultures. And the teachings of pure life force are our ability, and what happens in Capricorn is our ability to come into our own power in the world by embracing paradox, by embracing chaos, by embracing the forces of change and using our life force to come into alignment. Some of the gifts of this card are humor, our flexibility, our trust, and power. And so I love that my little dog Seven's barking right now. She's giving exclamation points to what we're talking about. So for the final card, I'm going to unveil our, where did I put him? Oh, here. I'm going to unveil our teaching. And what you may not be able to see is that the goat is smiling. The sense of humor is a really powerful practice of Capricorn, of being able to remain flexible while in our power. And so this is a synchronicity in time and also in the message of being able to balance the forces of change with a trust in the grids that are holding us. And also that in just 4 days, 4 days after the new moon, we step into Capricorn at the winter solstice and receive this new infusion of light. So we'll go back to the art card, which is the card for the signature for our new moon. And what I invite you to do now and in the coming days is align within, commit to clarity, commit to the quality of rebellion that enables you to release the past and patterns that no longer need bind you. Commit to alignment with inner truth. That's the Princess of Swords. Commit to trusting that you are being held, and that if you feel chaos or lack of clarity, you can ask for help, because the Six of Discs in spiritual support is saying that that help is available. The help of harmony and trust and alignment is always waiting, and that your work right now is to commit to awareness of your harvest, of what you have gained this year, of the gifts you've received, and your commitment to showing up, to tending your garden, which is you in becoming the alchemist of your life, the artist of your life. So there's a huge signature of hope coming forward with this new moon, and that really came forward in the spread. And I invite you to feel hope and inspiration about your life, hope and inspiration about the great project in which we're all engaged here on planet Earth, and the underlying signatures of possibility that are foundations beneath even the most disturbing of circumstances and seemingly chaotic. Choose to look for the clarity and the natural order and the flowering. Put your attention there, and then that's how you participate and contribute to the positive signatures of change. So have an amazing new moon celebration and a beautiful coming week of preparing for the gifts of solstice at the birth of new life on the birth of new light on December 21st. And I'll see you soon. This is Elizabeth Schermer and the Alchemy Mystery School with your Sagittarius new moon message.